Hey guys, welcome back. Modi 101 here, and I'm here with Heather and AB.
Hey guys.
And we're back and get creative. And no more business talk. Stupid talk again. I could hear people just saying, "Shut up."
Stop talking.
Why, for the love of all that is pure, is your mouth still moving? Anyways.
So if you could live in any TV house, which TV house would you live in? I would live in the Full House house. I loved that house growing up.
Yeah, but you got to keep in mind the people are there. I think that's more the oh. So you're just saying the physical structure.
The physical structure.
Oh. I don't know. Because the weird part for me is like, I don't know. I'd want to live in like Night Court.
That's not a house, though.
I know. But I'm
This
just
is a
saying.
house.
What, are you saying I can't have dreams?
What house would you live in? Not what court would you live in?
Well, to answer that would be Night Court. I don't know. I honestly don't know.
I mean, you watched a lot of TV growing up.
Okay, you ready? You ready?
Yep.
Silver spoons.
Really?
Yeah.
Because of the train?
Because of the what?
Wasn't there like a toy train at the beginning?
The dad was like a kid. It was all kinds of toys and stuff in there. There was a train that went around. Yeah. Silver spoons. Take that.
Okay, now going off of what you thought it meant, which TV family would you want to live with?
11, 12, 13, 14. You go first. 15.
As weird as it is, Family Matters would have been awesome, but I liked Urkel, so I don't think he would have been as annoying for me.
And Heather is also a big fan of cheese, so.
Oh my god, cheese is amazing.
Oh, I don't know. Like,
Oh, you know what other house I would love to live in?
What?
The house from Charmed.
I never watched that.
That was a beautiful house. And having witches live in your house wouldn't be so bad. Except for all the things trying to kill them in every episode, but I mean.
Well, I live in a house with two almost teenage daughters, so.
You have teenage, well.
Yeah, see, it's harder now.
Yeah.
Pink
It is, because Pink Cacti is technically not a teen anymore.
Yeah, Pink Cacti turned 20 a few weeks ago, so it's really kind of thrown off my complaining game.
Yep.
Can I just call them jerks? I mean, I guess that still fits. I guess that's ageless, so.
They're not jerks.
Well, I think you're a little biased.
I like your daughters.
No, because you're kind of a jerk sometimes. So,
Oh,
I said sometimes.
wow.
Anyways, I don't know, because I have this weird sense that, like, most your, like, loving TV families, I just wouldn't want to do that much stuff with my family. You know, I mean, like, you know, growing pains, you had the Sievers and stuff, and, you know.
Yeah.
You know, they were like, I don't know, eating dinner together, like, all the time, and,
oh my god, heaven forbid you have to eat dinner with your family.
Just like, they were like involved in each other's lives all the time, and it seems exhausting. Except for Charles and Charge. Those parents did not care about those kids.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. They were like, all right, we had kids, but we have money, so if we get you guys a Scott Baio, will you leave me alone? Are we cool? All right. I guess, you know, maybe the Growing Pains house, only because then I would have a friend named Boner, and that would be fun. So.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm a grown man. All right. Next question. This one.
Okay. What are 3 things you remember about kindergarten? Can you think that far back?
Wow. Okay, you're not that much younger than me there, Grandma, okay? All right, so easy on the old jokes. There's 2 things I can remember from kindergarten, 2 distinctive things. 3 if you count. Remember the story I told you about the kid that at the daycare? That wasn't at kindergarten, but that was when I was in kindergarten.
Yeah.
That's a weird one I should explain to people. Should I explain? Well, the other 2 was there was this really tall slide that was super intimidating.
Okay.
And this is, for all you youngsters out there, this slide was really tall. It had basically like, a ladder you climbed up to get to it. So it wasn't part of like one of these, fun play place things. It was just a standalone ladder.
Okay.
And the thing, I live in southern Arizona, and this thing was 100% metal.
Oh, jeez.
But it was really tall. It was honestly like, this may not seem like much, but when you're like 5 or 6 years old, it was at least the same height of like a 1-story building.
Okay.
Like, it was pretty tall, right?
I don't think it was actually that tall.
No, I've actually seen it as an adult. It was ridiculously tall.
Okay, next time I'm there, you're going to have to show me this extremely tall slide.
We're going to drive to Sierra Vista to see a slide. We're going to drive for an hour and a half each way to go see a slide.
Yeah, we drove an hour and a half to go see people in golf carts before.
That's not a story we should be talking about publicly. But I remember that slide, and I never had the cojones to go down it. And then I remember I had gone back there because it was one of the few times I didn't live in where I grew up.
Yeah.
And I only lived there for a year. And I went back, like, with my mom. She went to, like, visit a friend or do something down in this town. Mm-hmm. And they lived right by the elementary school where the slide was, right?
Okay.
And I remember at this point I was probably, like 10 or 11. Much older, like almost twice as old as I was. And I went back and I went down that slide, and man, it was a personal victory, but it was tall. It was. So I remember that, and I remember something else, which is always weird, that I think a lot of people have, but it's not something that people really ever think about to talk about. Okay. There was this thing on the wall of my kindergarten, okay? Okay. And it was basically this circle. It looked kind of like a clock, all right? Okay. In reference to how it was made. It looked like a clock, and what it was basically this circle of the average year, okay? Okay. So you kind of had January at the top at like noon, like 12. Okay. February was at 1. March was closer to 3, but you kind of get what I'm saying, right? Yeah. And then what it was basically there for was the teacher would then use it to she would move the little, like, the hand to what month it was, right? Yeah. And the funny part now is I am now 40 years old, okay? Okay. 40 going on 41, right? And when I think of anything that has to do with the year, like what month it is. You think of that thing, don't you? I still, in my mind, normal as day, envision that thing. That is what a year looks like to me. Okay. Is that thing. So yeah, like right now, we're in November. We're at about 11 o'clock on a clock. And that's how I see it. So if somebody's saying like, oh yeah, PAC South is coming up, middle of January. In my mind, I still see a big hand pointing almost straight up for PAC South. I don't know why, and that's how it's always been, and that's the way you were taught. That's just how, but it wasn't even necessarily a taught thing. It was just a thing that was on the wall. Yeah. Like you know, when I was being taught, you know, you were taught time on a regular clock, you know, like a clock with hands and stuff.
Yeah.
But if I'm sitting here thinking like, okay, you know, we have to record at 3 o'clock, I don't think of a clock with the hands. I think of 3 o'clock like it would be on a digital clock.
Okay.
But for some reason, when it comes to, and I think there's probably a lot of things that people just straight up don't think about in their lives that are like that you have some way you envision something.
Yeah.
But the last one is the story, you know. I was brought up by a single mom, and she was at work where we lived, and it wasn't a bad area, but it really definitely wasn't a good area. And so after school, there was a lady who lived in the neighborhood who basically ran a totally off the books daycare.
Yep.
Okay. And she probably had, honestly, I would say it was about maybe 10 kids, and it was more or less just after school. But I mean, she took care of, I think, a couple, like a baby or two, for like people that work like all day. But a lot of kids, most of her business would be when kids got out of school and came home from school.
Yeah, and that's a lot of people actually do that.
Yeah. And I remember, you know, I only lived in that town for that year, my kindergarten year, from 5 to 6, and I moved back and went to school in the town that I grew up in. And there was a kid who was there, and I can't really visualize him, but a lot of times, you know, at that age, you'd get home from school and they would kind of want you. And I think this was just a cheap way of this lady who was watching all the kids to get a little bit, make it easier for her. But we usually have like nap time, right?
Yeah.
And I remember laying there, and there was another kid who was kind of sitting up on his little mat, right? And he told me that if you sleep on your back, you'll have nightmares. That's simple. If you sleep on your back, that's how you have nightmares.
Yep.
Now, it's ridiculous. It is absolutely 100% ridiculous that your how you're positioned could at all dictate what your mind's gonna do in REM sleep, right?
Yeah.
But I was 5 or 6. So I remember I believed him. So I didn't sleep on my back because I didn't want to have nightmares. What are you, crazy? And I remember at one point, this is probably honestly like a year later, I remember laying in bed one night thinking about that. Because, you know, you lay in bed as an adult or as a kid, and you kind of just like lay there on your back for a while and just kind of stare up at the ceiling. This is before cell phones and all that stuff. When you went to bed, you just laid and stared at the ceiling.
Pretty much, yeah. I remember those days.
Cell phones made the whole ceiling star industry just go to crap. Anyways. And I remember telling myself, you know, and I was overthinking it. And I was like, oh, it's not true. You know what? I'm going to prove it. And I purposely laid there on my back and fell asleep on my back. And then I had a nasty nightmare. Now, the thing is, it had nothing to do with what that kid... It didn't make what that kid say is true. But my, probably at the time, 7-year-old mind had literally forced myself to have a nightmare, stressing about the idea of having a nightmare.
Of having a nightmare, yeah.
Here's the funny part. I am 40 years old, and I know how ridiculous this is. I know how dumb it is, and I know how untrue it is. I know that it is a mind over matter type situation. But because of so long of never sleeping on my back, I can't sleep on my back.
Nope, you can't.
I cannot. Even in a recliner.
Yep.
Okay, which my couch is basically like one of those couches that has, like, you know, recliners on either side. Even on a recliner, almost, I would say 99.99% of the time, never fall asleep on my back. I turn on my side. On a recliner.
He turns on his side. That's how I know that he's planning to sleep.
The funny part is I'm not planning on it. I just get uncomfortable on my back, and I'm like, it's going to be more comfortable to lay on my side. And I have full good intentions. And then 4 minutes later, I'm asleep.
Mm-hmm.
If you ever heard me make reference to accidental naps, that's what that is. But yeah, at 40 years old, in bed, I can never remember waking up on my back. Like a lot of people kind of move around. When I wake up, I'm still like, I'm not really on, I'm kind of on my side. It's more like a side front. Kind of like imagine if someone was shooting and you wanted to take cover, like that type of thing. Like the way I sleep is how people lay down on the floor during a bank robbery.
Yeah.
So, wow, I have most of this built, and I just remembered we had World Edit. Sorry, everybody watching. So, yeah, those are the 3 things I remember. So now you guys know, if you make reference to any time during the year, in my head, it's, and the thing is, I even remember, like, and this is where it gets confusing, okay? And this is where it throws off as a doll, the whole year calendar thing.
Mm-hmm.
December, January, and February were blue.
Okay.
Okay. Blue, ice, cold. Get it?
Yep.
And then March, April, and May were yellow.
Okay.
Spring, right? And this is still how I see it to this day. Summer was kind of red, hot, hot red.
Okay.
And then, and then fall was kind of orange. So,
okay.
Fall and leaves, orange, Halloween and that stuff. So I still see that as well. And like that's the only way I can think of it. I don't think of a year like in a calendar form. I think of days. Like like if I'm thinking like, the 13th of May, I'm thinking of like in my mind I visualize a calendar.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean at the same time, you use calendars all the time. But when it comes to just generally talking about a month, if somebody says, "Oh, my birthday's in April," their birthday is yellow. And it's roughly about at 4 o'clock on the face of a clock.
Okay.
So, now that I eat up most of the time, what do you remember from kindergarten? Getting your
I don't remember
car, or like a butler or something like that?
Oh my God, no.
Like
I don't actually remember 3 things. I remember 2.
Okay.
I remember getting chicken pox.
Okay.
That was awful. I remember, and I don't remember actually getting them. I remember we were sitting down listening to the teacher read a story, and I just felt itchy on my back, like to where I was like fidgeting too much, so I got in trouble. And I had to go sit in the like timeout area, and I just remember feeling really itchy. And I was still fidgeting like in the timeout, and so the teacher finally came over to see why I was so fidgety, and she like freaked out because I had spots all over my back.
Well, okay, in her defense, you're very freckly, so.
But I actually didn't start getting my freckles until I was about 11, because that's when I started going to the beach.
That's when you started reaping souls? Okay.
Yeah, no, that's when I started hanging out in the sun.
Yeah, we watched the first episode of Dead Like Me. I know what you're into. Anyway. Okay, so you remember getting chicken pox and weirdly getting put in timeout because of it, so awesome.
Yep. And then the rest of the time with my chicken pox was spent at home, taking oatmeal baths, and my dad just like slathering me so I look completely pink from head to toe in calamine lotion.
That's where it comes from. She doesn't like pink because she's a girl. It's literally the color of relief to her. When you put on the calamines, you feel better?
Yeah.
Oh, color association. Now I get it. Heather just slathered head to toe, walking around like some Teletubby reject. Like, wow. Okay.
Oh.
Did you want to be part of the Teletubbies? That's why you're sad about it? So.
No, the Teletubbies weren't even a thing when I was little.
Well, maybe you inspired them. So you guys heard it here first. Without Heather, there would be no Teletubbies.
Oh God, that's not what I want to be remembered for.
Remember, we're not at a eulogy. What do you mean remembered for? Jesus.
When I'm rich and famous.
You know, we're right near the end of this. Any other, like, how about just elementary school memories? Like any one in particular that stands out? Or how about this? Let's
just
mix it
getting
up.
in trouble for walking to school when we weren't really supposed to be walking because it's too far. So we were late by like 2.5 hours.
How about this? How about something like from that? Not necessarily something you did, but just something that sucks from embarrassment. Can you think of anything? Like something that was about...
Not really.
No.
No, I never really did anything embarrassing in school.
I'm not even talking about, like, okay, let me give you an example of what mine is, and then this is where I'm going to finish up my part of the video. When I was in, like, I want to say 1st or 2nd grade, I had glasses. Went to an eye doctor, you know, mom took me to an eye doctor, needed glasses, got glasses. And then I wore them for like a year, and then I just stopped.
Okay.
And anytime I went to the eye doctor after that, I had perfect 20/20 vision.
Mm-hmm.
They weren't corrective glasses. They weren't meant to fix my vision. I was just going to wear glasses. I think the guy was just a shyster, and he just basically wanted to sell my mom glasses. So he's like, you know, well, read the top line.
He needed to fit in his eyeglasses quota or something.
Yeah, like some weird like lens crafter scam. So, anyways,
now,
but
I did have glasses though.
But here's the thing. Now, do you remember? And I think they still kind of have something like this. The people like where you would get these glasses, and they were mostly geared towards kids. Where like you know where glasses normally end, kind of just like right above and slightly behind the ear.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, they have these ones where you would they would continue on, but from that point where glasses normally stop, they would it was very like bungee like. And what it was is so that when you put it on, the ear parts would wrap around your ears.
Okay.
And that way, as a kid, they were less likely to come off.
Yeah.
You know, if you're
that makes
playing or
sense.
whatever. So they basically stayed on. The problem was, now you also have to keep in mind, this was the 80s. It was an insanely different time. Just keep that in mind as I get to the end of this part. They were slightly too big for me. Not the glasses, but just the parts that went around my ears. And on the end of the part that went around the ears was like a very small metal ball. Very small. They were kind of gold, like kind of a gold almost, maybe even closer to like coppery type frames. And because they were a little too big for me, when they would wrap around, the little balls on the ends would pop out from behind my ears right about where my earlobes were.
Okay. So it looked like you had pierced ears?
So it looked like me as a boy in the early 1980s had both my ears pierced. Now, this is going to seem super weird and archaic. And maybe something that might be surprising a lot of people. During that time, because obviously homosexuality was very frowned upon, it wasn't nearly as socially accepted as today, and it's still not as socially accepted as it should be.
As much as we would like it to be.
It should just be not a thing. Because here's the fact of the matter. 99.99% of straight people, I don't want to think about them having sex either. So,
no.
yeah, I'm good. So, so yeah, I don't care what you're doing with who, just close the blinds. Anyway, so, but in that time, and I don't even know if I'm getting this right. If you had your
left, no, you're right.
Your right ear pierced, that was supposed to be kind of a hush-hush indicator that you're gay.
Yeah.
Now apparently it didn't work because everybody did. And to be honest with you, I don't even know if that was actually a real thing in the gay community at the time.
I don't know.
Or if this was some random thing that some idiot, I almost cussed right there, some idiot came up with as some sort of thing. So at the time when you're in elementary school and even into junior high, having your right ear pierced, or God forbid both your ears pierced, was just cannon fodder for jerks, right?
Oh yeah.
So
yeah, it's not like it is today.
Yeah. And like at 7 years old, I'm walking around wearing glasses, which, number one, when you're in elementary school, is already strike one.
Yep, I know.
Yep. And then it looked like I had both my ears pierced. So there's strike two. And then even at 7 years old, I was still Modi. So strike three is really kind of what that was.
Aww. No.
So that was something. And the funny part is that it really, even then, it didn't bother me if anybody was like, oh, you must be gay, your ears are pierced. I was like, I'm 7. I'm nothing. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I watch a lot of G.I. Joe. I don't know if that's a thing. What do I get pierced for that? I don't know, you know. Transformers are pretty cool, but you know, I was 7, so who cared? I didn't even know how straight people did stuff. So, but yeah, that was always a thing that, like, it wasn't I was embarrassed. It was just something weird at that age that was odd. So yeah. Let's make this a video of strength and power. Down in the comments, let us know what just, you know, everybody did something embarrassing. You know, everybody's done something.
Yeah.
But I'm just talking about like that thing, you know, you know, I had you know, my brother gave me a shirt I thought was really cool, and I wore it every single day, and then I realized, you know, it was a half-naked woman on it, and I got in trouble or something like that, you know, something. Something just.
Well, okay, I got my first glasses at age 8. And it was back in the 80s, so they were the big old thick plastic ones.
I've seen them.
Yeah.
Like she couldn't.
And
she could only look down. Like that's how heavy.
And then, to make matters even worse, then I had braces at like 11.
Okay.
And that was before I got my contacts. So I had glasses, red hair, and braces.
You know what it is? I think your vision was fine and your teeth were fine. Your dad just wanted boys to stay away. You weren't wearing glasses and braces. You were wearing contraceptives.
So, yeah.
So, all right, guys, we're over in this video once again. So, I like this series. We don't get as many views on it, but I like the chit-chatty part of it. So yeah, let us know. I don't know if I like that. I might have to delete that. That's what I've been working on for the entire episode. Come look at this. It looks like I don't know, a subdivision moved into the top of my castle.
Where are you?
I'm right back here. Look up. See the points?
No.
Back up.
Oh. Yeah, it does kind of look like tops of houses.
Yeah, I might have to get rid of that. So, but yeah, let us know some of your stuff. Not because, you know, we want everybody to share. It's just Heather and I want to feel less bad about how bad we were as kids. So.
I was such a dork.
Oh man, yes, and so was I. And as you guys can tell, a lot has changed.
Hey.
You can be sad all you want. You know it's true.
Wow.
And before we go, I just want to point out my first concert was Milli Vanilli. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed the episode. If you did, make sure you hit that thumbs up. Questions, comments, concerns, put it down in the comments section. Whereas you're watching, make sure you check out the other channel down below. And while you're there, hit the like and subscribe button. Let us know in the comments. Let us know some of your embarrassing stuff is. We're mostly looking for, like, elementary school where, you know,
Yeah.
You couldn't know what was cool or anything. Nothing was a choice, you know. Tell us what, you know, dumb stuff your mom put you, clothes your mom put you in or whatever. You know. But listen down the comments. If you want to get some cool squad gear so that you're not wearing those embarrassing clothes anymore, you're wearing our embarrassing clothes, make sure you head over to our Spreadshirt shop. Check that stuff out. We each have one. If you want to hang out with us and the rest of the squad, chit chat in our Discord, hang out with us on our server, and all kinds of other cool, fun things, go check out the Patreon link down below. And if you want to get your very own Minecraft server, the only place to go is Aim to Game. Use the link down below so you know you're coming from the squad. Use the coupon code to save yourself some money. And until the next episode of I Wasted My Whole Time Making Two Roofs, we want to thank you guys so much for hanging out. We'll see you guys next time.
Bye, guys.
Bye.